Citizens of the People's Republic of Belmont, sons and daughters of Tobago, people of Arima, Sando Deep South, Curep, Barataria, and when you say Barataria, you have to add pt.2. I wish to recognize the distinguished citizens of the illustrious Republic of Sawa and Santa Cruz. And now Panman Pat. Panman Pat and friends of Panman Pat. I have been tasked with roasting Panman Pat. For those who don't know what roasting is the favorite activity of people who like Movelang and Kankata. I don't have no courthouse clothes. I am not going to roast anybody here this evening. I am here to praise Caesar, not to bury Caesar. I am wearing the national colors of Trinidad and Tobago, red, white, and black. The green is not just for the vegetation, but for the mangoes and the mango trees. As you know, my first claim to fame is that my PhD, my first PhD is in mangology. So I am not going to roast Panman Pat. Some bad mind people, some so-called friends of Panman Pat want me to get into their kankata to bad talk a good man. I'm not going there. As I say, I have no courthouse clothes. I will never do that because Panman Pat is a great patriot in the truest sense of the term. We have heard, and I'm sorry I had to miss the earlier performances, but I told the people that I just left that I had to leave them because I made this commitment several months ago. But we have heard, I'm sure, Panman Pat as a panist, performer, writer of music. This is not the first book. Panman Pat has been writing, putting lyrics and music in written form for the schools, the community centers, anybody who's willing to learn. He was a tutor. He is therefore an activist and a promoter. But Panman Pat, like myself, knows to beware of these so-called friends. They want to know why, in the face of daunting circumstances, in the face of having quote-unquote minority status, why it is he persists, he is not giving up his love for Pan and his love for promoting Pan music and all the other aspects of our culture. And the answer is simple. The man is a percussionist. He is playing the only serious, top quality acoustic percussion instrument to have been developed in the 20th century. You have to give the man pips for that. He understands, therefore, the significance of the drum. He knows why we react so aggressively when we hear the sweetness of the tassa. In other words, he have a weakness for sweetness. Now, why should people come to try to encourage me to bad talk a great patriot. Why they want me to get into repeating things for which I have no courthouse clothes? I don't want to know how much of his performance is spiritually assisted, whether that spirituality is liquid, solid, or in other form. I am not going there. I have no coat of clothes. Wow. You see these so-called friends? Panman Pat never tell me this. Twice I promised him that I will be here or at similar occasions for him, and I'm glad. It took me a great effort, but I'm glad that I'm here. But Panman Pat, why it is people want to look for all the dirt they can find? They're thinking of dirt in a negative way. Panman Pat is a fellow who believes in nurturing. Therefore, if he needs, before his performance, to be spiritually assisted, I am not going to complain. I am not going to complain. Now, I want to go back to this thing about the Kankata. They call it confusionment. Now, Panman Pat, in his second capacity as a Californian, has a well-established track record. Many awards, many placements in finals, many good tunes, and typical and authentic Californian. The man composes and sings. But bad mind people, you could never please them. They want to talk about the set of hat that he just be wearing. They say one of the hat look like a biscuit hat. They say some of the hat look like hat from the minstrels. They want to say the glasses too big. They want to say he not good looking like Earl Lapierre Jr. They want to say that women don't chase him the way they have chased other musicians. I'm not going there. I'm not going into no Calcutta and tell her I'm not in that. That is not my business.
You have no courthouse clothes.
Thank you very much. That type of negative attitude, and you notice I am not repeating any libelous or slanderous remarks. As my partner say, I have no courthouse clothes. That kind of attitude is exactly what they use against Chogdas. Chogdas must know by now, because it's your partners who just give you fatigue, and true fatigue to boot. I'm not saying anything true, Panman Pat. Chogdas' specialty is social and political commentary. Chogdas put together the lyrics very well. But all of we know, half of the Catholics can't sing. Okay, they game 5 boys can't sing, but you know what? The Trini and them, how they so bad mind? They start to spend 2 years giving Chogdas fatigue about the fact that after he sing the Juba Dubai and thing, he drift down the stage one way and then had to walk back up. Because he could only do the dance in one direction. Why all you want me to roast Panman Pat? I am here to praise Caesar, not to bury Caesar. Now, I really didn't like, and I tell you point blank, this thing about roasting Panman Pat. And this is the worst year to ask somebody to roast Panman Pat. Anybody here from Okpa? Anybody here from Okpa? Well, I'm not calling any name. But I was present at the finals. I watched the first rounds. I said, good, everybody doing reasonably well. Second rounds, I focusing on the people who I either think going to win or the people who are going to spring surprises. So I didn't really understand what happened when Panman Pat, who did reasonably well in the first round and was doing reasonably well in the second round, when Panman Pat do so and skedaddle, as a fellow would say, he bust it. So I said to myself, you know what happened? That is part of the act. So I let go. Well, who tell me say that? People start to talk about Panman Pat. His father, his mother, his auntie, and nenen. They want to know how he could insult the audience. I never say insult the audience. I have no courthouse clothes. They come asking me from Akpa. I wasn't a judge. I like Kaiso.
You buy your ticket?
Panman Pat, no fatty, please. You have to roast me tonight. They want to know, well, where he coming from. So here what I say. They say, how come somebody could walk off the stage and still come forth? Now, I didn't want to be sarcastic, but Franco men, I want to tell them, if he was a frog, he would have come toad. I am not suggesting any physical resemblance between Panman Pat, anyone, alive or dead. So, the saying how we insult the band leader, the leader of the band, fella providing music, they saw involved the judges, he insult the upper who host him. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I have no courthouse clothes. The judges sat down and looked at the legal issues. Issue number 1, did he perform? Yes. Issue number 2, did he perform 2 songs? Yes. Issue number 3, did he start the second song? Yes. Therefore he performed, he shall be marked.
Yes.
Now, why all you don't leave Panman Pat alone? The man have pan. The man have kaiso. The man have the culture deep inside himself. It full up here rong kong. The man don't let nobody or nothing, including the feeling side, keep him from promoting we culture. I only have one thing to say. Panman Pat is a true patriot. Thank you, my brother.
That was extempo in real sense.
Extempo without music.
We couldn't have had a more clever...
Good night, everybody. Okay, so former Consul General Ashley, wetting after wetting. You think I coming after you? Maybe next year. But I want to tonight